everyone, Tally and Farrell here from Bored of It. Last month we got our first Whatever and Right games and we were instantly addicted. Today we're reviewing Welcome to New Las Vegas, which is a flip and write.
In Welcome to New Las Vegas, you'll essentially just be flipping cards. These cards have a number on them. There's another card with a bonus on it associated with that number card, and you're going to be using these to fill out a city sheet and a scoring sheet. Pretty much anything you do in this game will get you points, but will you design your city well enough to score big and win big?
Welcome to New Las Vegas is not quite as simple as it first seems because it brings a surprising amount of depth and brain-busting puzzles to the table. You can even play with 50 people, but should you? Probably not. The core concept of New Las Vegas is fairly simple. You sort these cards into 3 decks of 27 cards, give them a shuffle, then flip the top card. Then you use one of these numbers and write it in a casino in your city, thereby opening it up. Then you take the associated bonus, if you want to, from the other card.
And going through the bonuses, construction will allow you to finish building the half-built casinos in your city, allowing them to be opened in a later round.
Inaugurations will have you tick a circle up here, and the filled boxes can be used for special actions, such as using a different bonus to the one paired with your number or opening a second casino.
Shows will have you use the associated number to fill in a show casino in your city, and the more you fill in, the more points you'll get at the end of the game. Improvements
will allow you to upgrade your scoring. You'll tick off these yellow boxes, with each one improving your scoring in another aspect of the game. The limo has you draw a straight line from one streetlight to the next, starting at the airport. You need to loop back around, passing by casinos with fountains, VIP entrances, and cash out front. Each one you pass will score you points or give you cash.
I bet by now your head is spinning, but wait, there's more. You see, the golden rule is numbers have to go in ascending order from left to right. So no duplicates and no going out of sequence order. And then it gets a little bit more complicated because on each street, you're only going to want to have either odds or evens because you score per street for your longest chain of either odds or evens.
Also, if you fill a column top to bottom, you get to open a hotel. Plus, there are objective cards to aim for. Finally, the game ends when a player has completed their inauguration track, the last objective has been claimed, or a player has filled every space in every row in their city. As you can probably tell, Welcome to New Las Vegas turns into quite a dense puzzle. The first time you play, you'll likely understand the core aspect of the game, but be overwhelmed by what to actually do and how it all fits together. The game throws so many scoring avenues and rules at you, you'll essentially just be tugging at strings. But once you've played once, you're good to go.
Speaking of your first play, rulebook, not great. It actually annoyed me straight away on about the first page because it has this thing where it's essentially like, oh, you're playing Welcome to New Las Vegas. Have you played Welcome to? No. Well, don't play this. Go back and get Welcome to and come back when you're competent. It's just like, okay, let me just pack back up this game I bought and set up and run down to ye old local game shop to get Welcome to. I just really disliked that, first of all, they're selling you other games from them on the first page of the rulebook before you've even played the game. And second of all, that it just has this concept like, oh, we're all too dim to learn how to play Welcome to New Las Vegas without playing an easier version first. Just, it wasn't a great first impression. And the rest of the rulebook also not that great. There's just colors, all different types everywhere, all different types of boxes of different sizes. You never know what's important, what's not, and where the information is. There's just no consistency, and it's also a bit of a weird layout, just in terms of what information goes where. And worse, on our first game, me and Tally had questions that could have decided who won and lost. Rulebook, has no answers for them. And these were questions that were relatively simple and I imagine come up quite a lot. So yeah, not great, but mercifully, it's a pretty short rulebook.
There are a plethora of directions to take in Welcome to New Las Vegas, and what's great is that each one is interesting and provides a fun little puzzle of its own. This game is a brain burner, and trying best to go down a bonus route like the limo or the shows provides a further puzzle as you try to wrangle together the numbers that you're given with the limitations of the path that you've chosen. You'll honestly cheer when the perfect combo of number and bonus comes up, or groan and throw your writing utensil across the room when everything is absolutely useless to you.
What we will say is that some of these routes are much harder than others, notably the limos and the shows. See, I've only ever once seen someone complete a limo route because it's very easy to get greedy. And if you don't complete them, you're going to get hit with a lot of negative points. Plus, to make it even worthwhile, you also have to spend a lot of additional time upgrading your limo scoring. And the shows are related to luck because the show card's associated with a number. And whether that number works for you at that given time, who knows? And it can lead to a lot of unpleasant choices. But if you can get these right, there is a lot of points at stake.
But what can make your life easier and are an aspect of the game that we really enjoy are the inauguration special actions. They're really cool and absolutely crucial to playing well. The ability to be able to change one bonus into another is life-saving if you're pursuing a long-term strategy like the limo or the shows. And being able to duplicate a casino number can really dig you out of a hole that you've dug for yourself. Lastly, you can use them to change a number by 1 or 2, and you can even have numbers that aren't on the cards, and this allows you to create chains of odds or evens even longer than was otherwise possible. One of our least favourite things is probably the money mini game. At the start, you'll pick secretly if you want to take a loan from the bank or no loan. This will affect how much money you're given at the end of the game. Whilst playing, you might end up owing money, like if you construct a casino but don't open it, or if you duplicate a casino using a special action. Then at the end of the game, if you owe more money than you have available, you lose 20 points.
For us, this is just one thing too many in an already busy game. As a concept, it's quite obtuse to teach and it's difficult for new players to grasp. But once you know about it, it's actually quite easy to avoid. And while we can see what they're trying to do, have this thing where you can make the game more difficult, more easy, and you don't know what the other players have done. In practice, it's not an interesting decision. And the thing is, if you get hit by this, it could just be down to luck rather than your own poor decision making.
And 20 points, pretty damn harsh.
One thing that we've discovered that we really enjoy about Something and Right games is how all players have the same data to input into their systems, yet you get such wildly different outcomes. It's like a really cool psychology experiment to see how people's minds work. And this is particularly true here, just because there are so many routes for players to take. Now, it is genuinely fun at the end of the game to just sit around and discuss what you did differently, what routes you took, and just share your cities with each other.
One negative is this is about the only interaction you're going to have with other players. Because you're filling out your own sheet, it's a pretty solitary experience. What you're actually doing is trying to solve a puzzle. So much of the time is spent thinking internally, so there's very little table talk. One point of interaction are the objective cards, because once each one has firstly been claimed by a player, it flips to its other side and then it provides less points to any players who meet the objective later on in the game.
Speaking of other players, the game claims that this player count is between 1 and 50 people. And I guess you could play it with 50 people, but should you? No, because COVID. But you could? Anyway, it's kind of a stupid claim because the logistics would be horrendous and I don't know who would want to do that. But on the other hand, I also in my head had this image of playing like a big bingo hall with lots of people and reeling the numbers off and it just being super fun. But anyway, the point is, this is great for family gatherings and for if you have a lot of friends around. It's equally good if you just have 2 of you.
Because it's fairly quick and it often ends before you'd actually like it to, this is a great filler game, although we actually feel a little bit bad about calling it a filler game. we've taken to playing it at the end of the night when it's maybe too late to get out a big box game and just having a quick game before bed. It's a super chill / stressful experience. Great with a little cup of tea.
So, final thoughts. This is a game that would recommend to anyone, honestly, particularly if you never experienced a something and right before. Now, if you hate the sound of it and you only play games with really high player interactivity, then sure. But I honestly think that a lot of people will be surprised by the depth and strategic options that Welcome to New Vegas has.
It's cheap, it's quick to play, and can be played with a lot of people. That said, it should be noted, some people might find it overwhelming with all the different options, and AP might become an issue. But familiarity goes a long way here. So, give it a try. If you enjoyed this video, we'd really appreciate it if you could subscribe to our channel if you're not already, for regular board game reviews and other content, always with a little hint of doggo.
Twisty doggos.
And if you could give the video a thumbs up, that also helps us to grow our channel. And leave us a comment down below, ask us anything about the game, and we'd love to hear your recommendations of other something and rights that we can add to our collection. Bye bye.
See ya.